Yeah, man. Every now and then I think about this, man. It's gonna be short because I gotta try to start editing some of these videos from this weekend from the Soul Family Expo. Man, I had a good time. I really didn't correspond with a lot of other people, but I had some talks, took a picture with Broke Farmer. Didn't really do to Crafty Leo, Unbiased. Good little bit of people I was, talking and socializing with, but moving around and it was cool. But shout out to you. But this one right here, I kind of always reflect on this, because of the situation. And like I always tell people I talk about on my channel mainly about, finance and stuff. But I do, drop every now and then about mental health and, getting yourself together and stuff. And it always, come back to me about one of my partners. We kind of fell out over a situation, and it was crazy for. Oh yeah, good. And I'm gonna make some more videos about audio and stuff like that. And I ain't even really that big of a tech savvy, but I'm into tech, so I look at a lot, do a lot, and you're gonna see the crest of the videos that I put up. It's gonna be nice, even with the I got a caption card. I need to start using that. Even with my camera I have. I ain't even bring my camera out because I should have been taking video. I got a Samsung camera, and it has it to where you can literally download apps on this camera. Like that's how far that camera is. Um, I can download apps. I can edit videos from that camera with the apps on the camera. I don't have to take it to no other device. I mean, that's how cool it is with that camera. And then I have the caption card where I can, make the 4K resolution be even more crisp, like a movie scene and stuff. So I got a lot of this tech. I don't really use it because, I'm always on the road, and when I come home, I try to spend more time with the kids and the wife. So, but I know I need to start, building up my channel more by using the equipment that I have. But, like I said, uh, for the most part, this video is like me just talking about mental, and it's kind of like I don't know how to put it, but in a situation where me and this guy like fell out, and I laugh about it because it was over some he say she say stuff. You know, I had a situation in high school. It was this is crazy. So this girl I knew, she basically came to me and said I had an STD, and I started laughing. So there was another dude I knew. He caught an STD when we was in school, but I guess him and another dude tried to, you know, throw dirt on me because of the girl like me. And so when she came to me and approached me about the stuff and was, talking about I had kids and stuff and all that, and I'm laughing, and it got to the point where I got a little raspy. I was like, if you don't want to, holler at me and stuff like that, just say it. You ain't got to make all these rumors. She like, no, your boys said this about you. And I was like, not my boys. I was like, it could be anybody else, but these like my brothers. So what I did was I confronted the dudes with her standing right there. And one of the dudes I know when he lied, he has this little thing about himself. When he lied, I kind of knew he was lying because everybody have their telltale signs. If you have friends and you kick it with people, people, they have their signs. Like man, this guy to this day, I'm sociable with him, but we not cool like that. I'm not gonna hold a grudge against you. We grown. This stuff happened in high school, but I still know how you are, so I just have to put you at a distance and stuff like that. But everything was cool, but it's just I can't really deal with you on certain things because you grimy like that. Even to the point where, he was hanging with other cats and they weren't fooling with him no more. So he started hanging with me and a couple of other dudes that we know. And everybody else was cool with him. But like I said, I just didn't kick it like that. And there's certain people, like most of my homeboys that's real close to me, they know I would literally tell them like, "Hey man, I don't kick it with this person because of their character, the way they move, they lie, they do this, you know." And I don't associate myself like that. One of my homeboys, dude wasn't even paying his child support. I stopped fooling with him on the strength of that because I'm like, it makes me look bad because I'm with you. I'm supposed to be a stand-up guy. I understand that everybody do their own thing and I can't be represented by another person, but it shows that you're supposed to have like-minded people who are cool and friends. And if this person's doing something, it's kind of like a reflection of you to a degree. So when it come down to it, I'll just be like, man, I just don't rock with certain people like that because of your character, the way you move. And like I said, with that situation, I didn't understand why dude never didn't reach out to me. He wanted to play these little games and to try to see if he can get it out of me. He said something, and he always saying slick stuff, and I never understood that whole narrative. But my whole thing was this: I'm like, you know me better than most, because we always kicked it with each other, and I was just like, why you never talk to me about this? If I'm not gonna lie to you, if I said it, I said it. I'm like, the worst thing you can do is try to beat me, and that's how my standpoints with a lot of the situations. Even in a situation with a family member, they misunderstood something. They came at me with heat, and it was just, hey, I broke it down. This happened, that happened. I didn't like that situation, but I didn't come at you. I just didn't deal with you like that. And everything got, up and down, but it worked itself out, because my whole thing is when I deal with people, I try to be as genuine as possible, you know, and, you know, try to be truthful as possible. Sometimes, you do have to lie to actually hide the truth from people sometimes. And that goes for certain cases. That's like with my wife one time we had a discussion and she was like, why you always tell these little lies? And I told her, I said, well, most of the time when I tell these little lies is because if I tell you the truth, I'm like, would you take it this way? Or would you do it this way? And she's like, well, and I'm like, that's the point. See, if I tell you the truth, if you're willing to accept the truth, if you're willing to take on all this stuff, I always say the truth every time, every situation. But you got to be willing to handle the truth. And that's the thing with most people, they're not willing to handle the truth about a lot of this stuff or, go through this situation with an open mind. So if me and you have an issue and we talk it out, it's gonna be mainly on me and you trying to come to, resolution to kind of resolve something. I'm not trying to put it in your face or we go through this whole back and forth thing. And excuse me, that's the biggest thing with a lot of people, versus you trying to handle a situation that even if I'm never gonna be your friend again, I still want to clear the air. That was one of the things that me and this guy did, and it's crazy because I never really burnt nobody like that out of my life. Like I just deadhead stop talking to you. I don't do that because I think everybody can we can mend certain things and be sociable about things, but it's just some things you can't come back from. And even like in situations where murder, a lot of this stuff it can be mended over time, but it just I don't know. 'Cause, like right now, it's just certain things you can't come back from with me, and so it just a lot of people deal with stuff differently, you know. But that's one of the things that I try to be more upfront and be real with you. If you ask me a question, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I might try to beat around the bush at first because I'm trying to catch your energy, see what type of person, or if I know you, I'm gonna come at you with a certain way because I'm already trying to explain to you, without hurting your feelings, without making you feel bad. Because in some situations, hey, it's done been times where I had to tell dudes, man, your breath stink. Like your hygiene not there. You know, it's been times where I had to tell women, I'm like, hey, it's your attitude why your relationship suck. You know, hey, cut back on, it hurts. Like I had told one of my family members, like, hey, you gotta stop eating. Like, if you want this type of man, you gotta, cut all the eating out. And she didn't take it lightly. She was mad at me for a minute. But then it came to, fruition when the dude she was messing with was telling her she had to, cut off on the eating and stuff. And it got personal then, but when she came back to me, it was like, yeah, you was trying to tell me, but I wasn't trying to listen. I thought you were just coming at me. I'm like, we family. Why would I just come at you to be coming at you? All these years I know you, I could have been just started slandering you and coming at you like that. But it just, like I say, certain people can't take it. That's why, the big thing, truth hurts. And that's a lot of times people cannot take the truth. That's like with me. Like I tell people, shoot, I'm big. I'm a big dude. I need to lose weight. Ain't no shame about me. Somebody call me fat. Yeah, I'm fat. And well, at least you know. Yeah, I know. So what else? Like I stay working out. I stay do little stuff. I'm agile. I'm moving around real easy. You know, And luckily, I got out the industry when I used to work for moving company. My back would have been a whole lot worse than it is now. Like my back is cool. I have one of those electric massages, and that worked. And then I do a lot of stretching. Like I tell people when I used to go to therapy, they used to tell me like get on your knees and how the Muslims pray. You stretch your back like that. They have other back stretches, but them tend to be the only ones that work. So when it comes down to it, hey, I work out, I take care of myself, I eat right, I eat a lot of vegetables. One of the guys we was having a conversation, and I told him, I was like, it was a crazy conversation, but like I told her, I say, I eat my vegetables all the time. I say, dude, I went to the bathroom one time and that was it. I'm not trying to feel that type of pain like that. So I'm eating my vegetables. I'm eating right. And people that know what I'm talking about, hey, eat your vegetables. I take my vitamins, most of the time, because I'm not trying to go through no pain. And it just, I mean, it's crazy. It's funny, but it's crazy. Like people tend to not take care of their bodies. And you know, I heard this Pastor Bronner, I think from the Bonner Brothers, and they have a church down here called the Ark, and they have like the my wife turned me on to this when I first got with her. That they used to have a site called Air Jesus. I think if you type it in, it still go to their new site called Ark something. But on the Air Jesus site, between the three brothers, Nathaniel, Elijah, and I think the youngest brother name was James. They always have like these sermons on there. And when it come down to it, the brother was talking about when you're young, you spend all the time chasing and getting money, and then as you get old, you take all your time trying to get what in the world? So I just seen a squirrel look like he was carrying another squirrel in his mouth. Oh, I think it's like a lot of nuts or something. But crazy. But yeah, he was like, you spend all your time trying to get money, and then when you get older, you spend all your money trying to get your health back. You spend all your health trying to get money, and then when you get older, you take all that money and try to get your health back to right. People taking vitamins, they go into these different doctors, and a lot of times all it takes for us to just really just, eat right, you know. A lot of times I just, go vegan for a minute, don't eat nothing. I try to stay away from much processed food as possible, and I try to just eat a lot of vegetables. Cook the collard greens, kale, eat salads. You know, give my body a break from all that meat. Like I already done stepped away from pork, but with everything, every now and then you order something and you forget it got pork in it. And then I'm like, oh man, I know my stomach gonna tear up with that. Cause now I notice I end up eating some sausage. Once, like a couple of times I eat sausage. And man, if I don't ask if it's pork sausage, man, it tears my stomach up. But that's the whole thing, the process of me, eating better and take care of myself. My body's starting to reject that stuff. That's like I was telling my wife. I was like, I want to start straying away from, eating a lot of burgers and stuff, steak, that red meat and eating oxtails. Like we love eating them oxtails. My wife's Jamaican, so she loved cooking oxtails and curry chicken and stuff like that. So we be tearing it up. Like my brother, he come over, he get some of that curry chicken. He was like, "Oh, my fingers and stuff is yellow, but it's so good." But it's just the whole process of you eating better and going to the health food store now. We getting a lot of spirulina and ashwagandha, stuff like that to help us. Burdock root. My wife, she can't take it because of her medicine, but I take it. And, it's just the whole process of people. It's this one vitamin I normally take, but it's so expensive and it's getting more and more expensive. Called Miracle 2000. That right there, every time I take those, it's a liquid vitamin. And you just take a shot cap of the cap on there. You just take a shot of it like that and you got to shake it up because of all the minerals and stuff they got in there. It's like drinking a pill. But when I say the more you drink and over time, how good it is. Oh, oxtails was popping. You got to get you. You got to go to the Jamaican place. You got to find a good one though. Like the oxtails, well, you be able to tear them fingers up. You be about to eat the nails off your finger. How good them oxtails be. You get somebody to cook some good oxtails. I'm telling you, you be on point. Yeah, but if it comes down to it, it's just you gotta be on point with what you eating. Thinking about the stuff that you eating and stuff. You know, but like I say, I know I gotta take care of my body. I know I gotta, oh, expensive ain't the word. It's like a delicacy. It's like eating oxtails, the caviar for us, in the community. Because I'm like, them oxtails way too expensive. It's a spot down here called Food Depot in Atlanta. I don't know. They got them other places. Might be different names. But the Food Depot is certain Food Depots you can catch that have like the big packs for $30, and it come with about I say about 10, like I say about 8 to 10 big bones. Then you start having like the nubs of the tail. Basically, you damn near getting the whole tail out of this pack. That's how much in there. And other places, you might pay $25 for three big bones and then a bunch of little small bones. So that'd be the crazy part. Yeah, oxtails, they good, you know. Yeah, but it's just like I say, taking care of yourself and doing right. Cause even like with your mental, that's like with me now. I started to meditate more. I started to, just relax. And everybody like used to get on me so much about this. Now I'm starting to see what they talking about because like my 30s, I was going crazy. My 30s and my 20s, I would always work two jobs. Like my son, I talked to my son when he was in college about 2 years ago when he was down to school, and basically he was having this conversation. Me and him was having a conversation because when I started talking to guys in the manosphere, I started saying how the guys that are more positive, and we were having conversations, and I was like, man, I'm thinking back on my son, and I'm like, maybe I didn't really talk to him as much, or maybe I didn't really give him, the kind of gems and tools he need. And so we sit down and had our talk. And he was like, well, you kind of didn't really say everything, but I kind of got by your actions how you, dealt with my mom how you move. You went and got two jobs and you were just, locking down and taking care of the house. And that was one of the things that, you know, inspired me to look at the way you move. And I move just like you. Because when he was in college, I think he was working at Best Buy and he was working at, what's the food house? Sonny's Barbecue. And he had them two jobs working at Sonny's. Yeah, that's my email. We here. We here at Gmail. And I'll I'll try to pull your link up from your page, Uncle Stu. But for the most part, that's how I was. Like I was literally talking to him, and we would just have our conversations, and just focus on how he's doing in school. And for this is another thing too. This is actually my stepson, but I always call him my son. I raised the boy ever since he was 4 years old. I got with his mom when he was about 4 or 5, and every time we talk, nothing but pleasantry. And that was the biggest thing. Like I talked about on one channel, I was like, I never had that back and forth with none of my stepkids. I got my oldest daughter and my son. I never had the back and forth with them. I only had two kids from my wife, and it was twins and everything. But I never had the back and forth with them because I kind of did it all that. You know, I, I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. Plant tales. But I kind of did it all that when we had the conversation going on because I talked to their dad, and I didn't want this whole thing of going back and forward and stuff like that. So I ended up talking to their dad to where even when my daughter, she was the only one that told me, she was like, I'm gonna tell my daddy. But when I called her dad, you know, and she was on the phone with him, it deaded the whole conversation because I told my wife about that. I said, well, I'm not an abusive person, but I'm not gonna let no child disrespect me. And it came down to the point where it was like that's how it always was ran in my house. With my grandma, my granddad, my mama, dad, everybody, my aunties, all of them. Kids don't run the house. And I don't give my kids no leverage to feel like, they govern themselves in the house the way they want. No, that's not finna go down like that. So when it came down to it, you know, I ended up talking with them, and that was the only issue I had with my daughter that one time. Other than that, they never said, "You're not my daddy." That never came out of their mouth. It was not because I carried myself a certain way, and we always had fun. But it was some times when I was serious and you locked down on you about your work and stuff like that. That's just how it is, you know. Even to the process of my twins now, I'm working with them. They in middle school, and I'm constantly getting on them about their work because the tech stuff is so the technology is so open now. With my other younger kid, my older kids, they were in their books because there was not computers and stuff like that. They had like I had computers and I did my work and stuff, and then I would let them use it, and I eventually bought them desktop, and then went from buying a desktop to buying them laptops and stuff. But I had had always go take the computers and stuff. Nowadays this stuff is so easy. I literally anytime my kids do something wrong, they know they did something wrong because I have the Xfinity box. I cut their internet off of their phones because I end up they don't even have phones on right now. I think something happened where something and I took their phone from him. I think it was one of my sons. He did something. I took his phone, cut his phone off. The other son did the same thing to him. So both of them don't have phones, but they still have the phones to use for Wi-Fi. And then turned around, they got games. Uh, they got laptops. I can cut all the internet off on that. So once they know that they did something wrong, or I tell them go do their chores, they don't do their chores right. Hey, I cut the internet off. They know if it goes off the first time, it's an hour. Second time, it's 2 hours. After that third time, you gonna get a 3 hour. But If I gotta come to you so many times in one day or within that week, I just cut it off for the whole week. Only time you get on there is when you do work. That's it. All right. I'll be hollering at you. But yeah, with the craziness with them oxtails, like y'all gotta Google this. I mean, well, go to YouTube. I done seen veggie oxtails. They look good. You know, I done had some veggie stuff. I ended up making a veggie burger. It wasn't all that with the black beans, the mushrooms and walnuts. It was pretty decent. I made some veggie tacos too with the walnuts and mushrooms. Like if you get some walnuts and chop them up with the mushrooms and season it up, tastes just like ground beef. Tastes just like ground beef. Yeah. Okay. I got you. I'll look at it. I'll look for it because I'm literally off today, so I gotta do some little stuff. But I'll be on it. I'm off today processing paperwork and doing some stuff. I got business to take care of. Then I'm back at it again. But my kids, they off this week too, so I'm gonna be running around with them uh when I get off work. But yeah, I'll be looking forward to it. But yeah, it just like I say, just dealing with your mental, man, it's rough. And a lot of people can't handle it because, you know, it's funny. This lady by the name of Love Dorsey, and she talks about a lot of different stuff. Like I think as long as about um I would say 2012, I say 13 or whatever, when I started listening, hearing her, speak time and time again. She a rapper, but she always talk about relations. And I kind of laughed because I was like, she basically was like the female version of Kevin Samuels before Kevin came out. And Love Dorsey always talked about relationships, and she would just hit it over the head. She was like, if your mama didn't know nothing and then you don't know nothing, it makes it bad, because when it comes down to it, most of the time you're around your mom more than you're around your dad. That's in most cases. And so it was based a lot of stuff she was saying how the mental of a lot of people, they got into bad situations because they mom didn't know. And I would always say this too. You know, if your parents don't know anything, it's mostly up to your parents to, find the people that can teach you stuff. We was having a conversation on one panel where I told him, I said, what's it, Jason? What's Jason channel? Jason Williams, I think. But Jason Reels. Jason Reels with a Z on the end. And we was talking and he was saying how his father died and he didn't have nothing, didn't leave a house to him, and all that. And I say that's always the generational reset. When your parents die or whomever dies and don't leave anything to the family, they don't have to. But this the thing. You resetting the generation, so they started from scratch. You know, if I fool around and die and I don't leave my kids anything to have an upper edge, or I'm resetting the whole generation all over again to where you gotta start the video game over and you start from the beginning. Like remember Mario Brothers. Back in the day, they didn't have no memory card. So you would either have to leave the game on or you have to restart it all the way from scratch. And that's what a lot of people are doing. And, that's why I always push and talk about life insurance because my thing is this. I don't want my kids to start from the bottom, like, kind of what I did because my dad put some stuff in place before he passed and it made it a little easier, but the knowledge wasn't there. It's like you drop, I say you drop $20,000 in a kid lap. He don't know what to do with that 20,000. That 20,000 gonna be gone in probably a week or a couple of. I done seen people spend 20,000 in 1 hour. Whether it be buying a car, spending it at the mall, and then when you get older, you're like, man, I wish I had this money. you know, I wish I had this, that I could have did this. But it's just the whole point of, not knowing and you learning from your mistakes. As you get older, you're supposed to be getting wiser. And as you get wise, getting older, you start accepting things and start moving a certain way. But, as it comes, that's why I'm trying to put it in place for my kids to, they have their own policies. Shout out to Alonzo Hall, the All-Star advisor, to where when they grow up, they got the policy for their family. And I told him, I said, look, this policy is not gonna make you rich because one of my sons, he swear he about to be rich when he turn 18. I said, no, that's not the case. This policy is gonna have you to maintain life, and you're gonna start paying on the policy when you get older. But the thing is, this policy is a life policy to the point where as long as he's living, he gonna have this policy. He can keep putting into it, max it out as much as he want, and trying to teach him. Yeah, he really do think he's gonna be rich, and that'd be crazy when he be telling me this. Like even with my policy, he think when I pass, like I'm just gonna leave him one big policy. His mom ain't really gonna get nothing because she older. She grown. She got a job. I'm like, nah, son, that's not the case. Your mama gonna get some of the money, but y'all gonna get majority of the money because I'm trying to have properties to where I don't have to give your mom so much money because she gonna retain money from properties. You guys are gonna get the money while she get the assets. I say it's gonna be a good enough money, and I already been telling my friend, like one of my friends, he in real estate real heavy, and I explained, I was like, when it comes down to it, if anything ever happens to me, I told my wife, I said I will come back and hunt you if you don't do this, and everybody knows I say this all the time. I told her to take the money, go get some apartments, maintain those apartments, and you're gonna sustain life. You don't have to work no more, none of that. I mean, even with the houses or something we get farther in the future, my goal is to get a set of apartments and maintain those apartments and just sustain life. Upgrade. I'm not gonna be a slumlord. I'm not trying to jack up their rent like that because in certain situations, hey, you need somewhere to stay, especially with a good tenant. I don't want good tenants to leave. I want good tenants to stay. So, me not jacking up the rent like crazy and all that, that's gonna sustain good tenants, especially keeping everything good. Put money aside. That's the biggest thing with a lot of people. If you make if your tenants pay all their rent, let's say you have 4 units, each unit is $1,000, and all you have to do is pay 1,500 a month for the 4 units. Look how much extra money. Let's say 2,000, a little more half. You get 2,000 in your pocket, and 2,000 go towards the mortgage on the property. Instead of you taking that $2,000 and go ball out every month, take 1,000 and put it in a savings, or take 2,000 and put it to the side. You already still living life. Use that as emergency money to where something happens. See, a lot of people, we don't think like that. We think, man, I got an extra 2,000. I'm finna blow this money. But when a water heat goes out, who's paying for that? If this goes out, who's messing with that? Even though you can get a home warranty and pay that every month, but there's certain things that the home warranty is not going to cover. What if you want to put new floors in there instead of keep having a carpet, put some new hardwood in there? That's coming out of your pocket. That's not coming out of the home warranty. So people are not, their mind is not trained for this stuff. So that's why they have issues with going forward with, process of getting property, process of learning about life insurance. One of my friends, this guy makes tons of money. He just don't see life insurance being feasible for him, where he could just save the money himself. I'm like, I guarantee you, you can save $100,000 and pay for your funeral, pay for this and pay for that. But if you would have took that $100,000 and put in a life insurance policy, that policy would probably be up to like a $2-3 million. But like I said, it's just the point. You know, it just we don't have that knowledge and pushing and stuff like that. Hey Tony, I was talking to someone, Miss T with the T, if you're still in the building. She wanted to get some information on some making a song or something like that or a beat. Uh, I shot a what's kind of talking about it, but I think she might end up reaching out to you a little later and stuff. But yeah, but I'm about to end this because I see she live anyway, and I want to go over there, mess around over there. But like I said, it just mental. People got to work on stuff to do better, and you working on yourself. Hey, be true to yourself because a lot of people, through the test of time, you'll start seeing that depending on your friends, your friendship, you'll start seeing how bad or how good you are. You know, and with it being for that, hey, we all have our issues and we have our flaws, but us coming together for the greater good and making things best and best or for what it is. What's going on, Bruce? I forgot to see your last video, Bruce. I'm gonna come back and look at it, man. Yeah, I be catching most of the time. You be throwing them late screens, man. So I gotta come back and look at your video, Bruce. But shout out to everybody in the chat. About to go ahead and go over there, Miss T, and check her out. But you know what I always say until next time, man. Just basically focus on yourself. Get yourself together. Start planning. And I missed out on a lot of stuff I had at home. I was supposed to bring to give away at the Soul Family Expo, but you know I'm gonna have it for another event. But to the thing is, like I always say, we here. Shout out to everybody in the building, and we gone.